It's time now for the big story, and shoppers and fast food customers face a shortage of home-produced chicken amid claims that supermarkets are refusing to pay farmers enough to cover soaring costs. The empty shelves and rationing of eggs and vegetables that was seen in recent months is likely to be repeated for many fresh British chicken products, according to experts at the British Poultry Council. So it seems that farmers are playing a game of chicken with the supermarkets. Who's going to win? And will Brits go hungry? Let's speak to ex-Conservative MP, good friend of the show, and highly prolific farmer, Neil Parish, who's probably spent the afternoon with his arm up a Hereford. Hi, Neil.
Hello, Mark. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Your reaction to this story, it's a worry for customers, isn't it? I mean, a worry for my viewers and listeners if the supermarkets run out of chicken.
Yes, it's one of these things that can be stopped. And if the supermarkets would only pay the cost of production plus a little bit of profit for the farmers, we could have as much chicken meat if we want. But you see, the thing with chicken meat is poultry, you can finish your poultry in 6, 7 weeks. And so the cycle is very, very fast. And so if farmers are not making money, labour costs, feed costs, all very high, they are not making enough. They will not put the poultry down, grow them. And what's even worse, if you give a long period of low prices, then we don't produce as many eggs, don't hatch as many chicks. And Britain has a great poultry industry. We have really good quality poultry, good welfare standards, and it's a shame that the supermarkets won't pay enough. And I also call upon the government, because in about 3 years ago in the agricultural bill, there is legislation in there which actually can hold the retailers and supermarkets to account and actually get them to pay a fair price, because in the end the consumer may get cheaper prices now by cheap imports, but those imports will gradually disappear. We'll have lower quality, and if we're not careful, higher prices. What we need is good British chicken, and if the retailers would only pay the price, they would get them.
And why don't the retailers pay the price? Are they struggling with inflation? What's their excuse?
Yeah, I mean, I think naturally the retailers know that the consumers are having, a problem with the cost of living. But you see, we still buy very reasonable poultry in this country. For £3, £4, £5, £6, you can buy a really good chicken. It's the best value meat you will get, good welfare standards and very good quality. We use less antibiotics in the meat production in this country than in imported meat, so it's healthier to eat as well. So those are the reasons why you need to have it. And I think the supermarkets have decided, well, let's drive the price down. The farmers can absorb some costs. Well, yes, the farmers can absorb some costs, but once the costs get below the cost of production, they even got higher labour costs at the moment, difficult to get labour as well. The same on the vegetable sector. Farmers won't plant vegetables if they can't get them picked, and if the retailer won't pay enough for them. So in the end, like I said, I think we want to have a fair deal here, and then, the retailers would perhaps when the retailers ask the farmers, to be competitive, perhaps also the retailers need to be, because you will find that retailers like Lidl and Aldi take something like 3% across the food chain, whereas Tesco's, Sainsbury's and others will take up to 7%. So I think everybody needs to look to see who's making the money here, and farmers will not produce the poultry if they're not paid enough to produce them.
Is there a danger that we will run out of chicken? Could that happen?
I think it can happen. I don't think it will, because I'm hoping that the retailers will see sense and pay the farmers a bit more. I think farmers will want to produce chicken because they're very good at it. And I think the British public want to buy a British chicken. I just think everybody wants to sort of put their heads together, be sensible about this, and stop sort of, as you said in your introduction, playing chicken with each other, because in the end, the retailers won't win this one, because farmers will just stop production, and we don't want that. The British consumer likes a good British chicken. They like British products. A lot of the big retailers like to promote British food in their shops in order to get the the consumer in there. So therefore, they do actually need to pay the price. They've done it with milk and other commodities where they have decided to pay the cost of production plus. And I think on poultry and pig meat, they have never really done that. And I think there's time that they got together with the industry to make it work. And I do actually call upon the government to do a bit more rather than just stand back and let the industry and the large retailers slug it out.
Too right. Neil Parish, great to see you. Look forward to welcoming you back to the studio very soon. Neil Parish there, former Conservative MP and highly prolific farmer. Look, you're all very patriotic. If you're watching the show, you're listening to the show, and your best patriotic duty is to go out to the supermarket, to the butchers, and buy British. So British beef, British chicken, British eggs, British cheese. We just make world-class produce. And I was delighted to see that Bear Grylls, the adventurer, after years of pushing the plant-based diet, has said I was completely wrong. I felt terrible. I had no energy. And he's gone to a meat diet. So he has lovely steaks and lovely ribs and chicken breast and all the rest of it. He's never felt better. He's got his health back. So buy British and enjoy meat. There you go. That's what I think. But let me know your thoughts. Are you worried about a potential chicken shortage? Mark at gbnews.uk.